international financial architecture to address the challenges of today and tomorrow. So in the next several weeks and months, we're going to see a major push to change the financial architecture we have today. And that's going to be digitalization of everything. So they know everything that you bought, and cash will be limited. Right. It's already that way in a couple of countries where cash is limited to maybe $50 a day.
Right, and also have a credit score, just like China, and freeze your assets.
And we're already there. There's a name for it in the United States, but it's not being implemented yet. But Microsoft uses it in order to get hired. So your score, if you had something that happened 20 years ago, it's on there. Whereas your credit score won't have it on there. Number 48, we will accelerate reform of the international financial architecture to strengthen the voice and representation of developing countries. So that's your smaller countries that they want a larger voice. They go on to say, we will accelerate reform of the international financial architecture to mobilize additional financing for the SDGs, respond to the needs of developing countries, and direct financing to those most in need. So basically, it's your smaller, poor countries, and they'll direct the financing, or the person in charge, whoever that will be, that will direct the financing. We know from Prince Charles of Wales' speech that he was referring to in the third person as a person that had that ability, and he was actually speaking of his Natural Capital Investment Alliance. So he was speaking of himself having that control.
Oh, whoa. So when he was saying trillions at his disposal,
he was talking in the third person, and it has to do with his Natural Capital Investment Alliance. So it's his alliance of those working with him that have that control. Most people are not going to know that, but there's actually a document for that within the SFI. So it was a blunder on his part, but because that wasn't how the script was supposed to read, but he read it as his and rather than its.
Ah, very interesting. Yeah, because people keep on saying that, see, he's talking about his.
The Antichrist. It was actually a blunder. It was supposed to say its, but he said his, but his meaning himself.
Ah, wow. Okay.
So it says we will accelerate the reform of the international financial architecture so that countries can borrow sustainably to invest in their long-term development. So more debt is being compounded. We will accelerate the reform of the international financial architecture to strengthen its capacity to support developing countries more effectively and equitably during systemic shocks. So here's what they're predicting once again is these shocks that are coming, and make the financial system more stable. But these shocks will do the opposite. It will make the financial system crash. And we know that from scripture as well, that the financial system will crash. It says, we will accelerate the reform of the international financial architecture so that it can meet the urgent challenge of the changes of climate. And we will develop a framework on measures of progress on sustainable development to complement and go beyond gross domestic product. And getting towards the end, we will strengthen the international response to complex global shocks. So that this is something that they foresee is coming. They don't know what it is. And it says that it will be severely disruptive with adverse consequences for a significant proportion of countries and global population. So it's right there in the document. So that whatever is coming, according to them, is global.
So was that number 56?
That's number 54.
54. Okay, I'm going to go back to that, but go on.
I might want to go back to that. I got it super highlighted. It says we will strengthen our partnerships to deliver on existing commitments and addressing the new and emerging challenges. Speaking of global shocks once again. And we will strengthen the international cooperation for the exploration and our use of peaceful purposes and for the benefit of all humanity. All right, so they annexed this global digital compact at this same event. And you want to go back to Action 54 before we go on? The international response to complex global shocks?
Yeah, because I was seeing in our Common Agenda Policy Brief 2 that they were saying that the UN will respond to the worldwide shocks with minimal consultation from governments, whether it's a pandemic, a war, severe weather, it doesn't matter, but that's the thing, is that they now have the power.
Should a global shock occur?
Right, should one occur.
Yeah, should one occur.
Right.
Should that sudden destruction occur, then they have the power to take authority.
Ah, Interesting.
I want to make that the main point. So it's not, they don't have the authority right now, but should a global shock occur in the near future, and according to them, it looks like by 2025, whenever that'll be, they have that power to take authority. So they annexed this global digital compact to strengthen the international cooperation because of the new risks for humanity that are not fully yet known. So this is very, very interesting document. And it says our goal is for a safe and secure digital future for all. So here we go, peace and safety once again being discussed. My opinion is they're not going to declare this peace and safety until what we discussed earlier, that'll be at the end of 2024. It says our digital cooperation rests on international law and the rights and the 2030 agenda. I thought it was really interesting. They want to map and connect all schools and hospitals to the internet. So your public schools will be all connected to the internet, so they know what's being done within your public schools. So, but who's controlling the internet is the question.
Right, Tower of Babel education.
Their 59th goal for a digital compact was to promote safe and secure and trustworthy artificial intelligence systems that advance, protect, and preserve linguistic and cultural diversity that take into account multilingualism through the life cycle of these systems. So I thought that was an interesting detail of their global digital compact.
Yeah, and trustworthy AI. has gone rogue many times, even going against their own operators, but okay.
I've used AI, for instance. I can use my phone. I have an AI thing on my phone. I can speak into my phone what I want for a photograph, and within 3 to 5 seconds, I have that photograph that I spoke into the phone. It's unbelievable.
No, it's amazing technology. It's just when it's in the wrong hands.
When it's in the wrong hands, it's something that's evil.